welcome to Skinterviews. I am one of your two hosts. My name is George Skandalis, and this is
Nathan Strong.
How's it going, everyone, tonight? I hope you have been watching our show. I hope you have been hitting like. I hope you have been sharing. I hope you've been sending messages, letting us know who you want to see next, what questions you want us to ask, anything interesting that you want said on this platform. You got to reach out to us. You can reach out to us through Instagram, through Facebook. Go to skin.terviews. Look it up. Find us. Go on our personal pages at Nathan Strom or at _skin_guy. And that's where you'll be able to find us. Today on our show, we've got somebody that was recommended that we were more than happy to get on here. This guy has a bigger than life personality, but you'll notice him when he walks into any room because I can almost guarantee you 9.9 times out of 10, he's the tallest man in any room and his personality is just as big. Without waiting any longer, please welcome to the show, Francois Saint-Amour from Cynosure. Hello, how are you, man?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Cheers, buddy, and we should say salute and bonjour.
How's it going, man?
It's going well.
Yeah. How's isolation treating you?
It's a challenge, but I think we're all on the same page, and there's some good and some bad, and I think we're all adapting into this. And the first couple of weeks was tough, but now we're getting used to it, and there's some advantage. We can see it for work. We can be like more. There's more efficacy. We can do more meetings, and people are more open to talk about business and just improve the way we work. So it's not bad.
How's the personal life going during isolation?
Personal life is not easy. To be honest, like it's a tough time for single people right now because actually you cannot meet new people. So it's a challenging time. So, but it's a good timing to reflect on yourself and see what you want in the future. So there's some good and some bad, but I'm really happy that we can see the light at the end of the tunnel and be able to get back to our normal life pretty soon. So,
amen to that. Yeah. All right, J Love. Can I call you J Love?
You can call me J Love. Yeah,
J Love, and I know Nathan calls you JF. You've got all sorts of different nicknames. So I'm going to take you right back to the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
You entered this world. How tall were you? Day one.
One thing is, I always been taller than anybody. Even like if I can go back at when I was at primary school, I was probably the same height as my teachers. So always been the tallest guy in the room. So
how tall are you?
I'm 6'8".
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. All right. You were born Jean-Francois Saint-Amour. Was that always your full name?
Always been my full name, Jean-Francois Saint-Amour. So the perfect way to pronounce it. Good job, George. So there's no real story about my name. I just, my parents were hesitating between two names, so Alexander or Jean-Francois, and they chose to name me Jean-Francois, which is, in my opinion, a good name.
So
it's very French.
So, I joke around and I call you J Love and Nathan calls you JF, and we call you a bunch of different things. But I mean, if I had a name like Jean-Francois Saint-Amour, I would be pissed off if anybody didn't say my last name. Like, you can't just call somebody Jean-Francois. You got to say Jean-Francois Saint-Amour. You sound like an adult movie star. I mean, that name is money.
It is.
It is maybe money, but it's a long name to pronounce, and it takes forever. So it's why, like, English people cut my name into J Love, which makes a lot of sense, and it's quicker. So I kind of like it.
Were you born in Quebec?
I was born in Quebec, a little town called Gatineau, just beside Ottawa. So yeah, just beside Nathan. And but I've left home pretty soon. I was 19 years old to Quebec City. So, but I was born there. All my family is still there. So, love the town.
And you're tell me about your family. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do have siblings. I have a sister that is a little bit younger than me. She has 2 kids now. So She built her own family in Gatineau.
Nice.
She worked in hospital. I'm close to her. I'm the godfather of her little daughter, Laurie, so pretty proud of it.
Is she as tall as you?
She is tall. She's almost 6 foot. Yeah, so she's tall. Yeah.
So you're all tall, a tall family.
Tall family, yeah.
Amazing.
So, Jeff, talk to us a little bit about growing up in Gatineau at school. What school did you go to, and how was school life for you?
I went to high school called L'Érablière in Gatineau. So small high school. Started playing volleyball at 12 years old, first year of high school. The story behind it is like my neighbor at the back of my house saw that I was really tall, so he was like, shit, that guy would be like perfect volleyball player. He's already tall and he's 12 years old, so he's like, why you don't come play in my team? And I'm like, I don't know anything about that sport, and like it was not a popular sport at all at that time. But I had like a close group of friends in my neighborhood, and we all started playing at that high school at the same time, and we played all high school together. And after that, we were on Team Quebec, and after that, we all played at university. So it's kind of funny that the little bunch of guys in the small hometown all finished at different universities. So some went to University of Sherbrooke. I went to University Laval in Quebec. Some others went to Montreal. So pretty funny.
No, I have a couple of photos here of you, and I know you took your volleyball to a different level. So talk us through your volleyball career, and I'll show these two photos here. Can you talk us a little bit about these photos?
Yeah. So those two photos were when I was at University Laval playing in the Rouge et Or. So it was really one of the best team in Canada. So it's why I decided to go play in Quebec City. Great franchise, always in the top 5 in Canada. So those two pictures that was the pictures on the left is my last year in Alberta. It was the national championship. And the picture on the right is my first year of university, 5 years before at University Laval. So it was also a Canadian championship. So we performed pretty well in both events. And my last year, we actually lost. That picture is a picture before the gold medal. So we lost in final, unfortunately, but great career. Love the sport. Had a lot of success, and it forged a lot of my personality and why I can be performing at Sales right now. So it was really fun.
So tell me about growing up as a young kid or a teenager. Were there any heroes that you looked up to, or certain people that you followed in their path? And tell me who they were and why you followed those sorts of people.
Well, it was related a lot to sport. I don't think I really had an hero, but like I remember all the coaches that I had, like starting like really young, always been like my kind of mentor in life, because actually you kind of see them as much as you see your own parents. So they teach you a lot about life and about like sport and discipline and everything. So it really helped me also forge myself and have success at school, be more motivated. So definitely one day if I have kids, I'm gonna encourage them a lot to do a lot of sports, and because it's a good thing.
Yeah. And so, do you remember as a young kid, was there anything you wanted to be when you were growing up? Was there a certain profession that you wanted to go into?
Yeah. It was pretty much a classic in terms of being an athlete. Wanted to be, teaching physical education. So it was kind of the path that I wanted. So when I was at university, it's the first bachelor degree that I did back then. Kind of realized that maybe it was not really meant for me completely. So I've went a little bit later on in my career at university and in the Rougiard, because we can play 5 years, I started another bachelor degree in business, and it was much more close to what I was becoming and what I wanted to do. I knew, like, after my sport career, I needed to do something challenging and something related to sport. So it's why, like, I always say it, like, being a sales rep is so close to be an athlete, because, you know, you travel, it's competitive, you have objectives, it's also a team thing. So yeah, it's kind of why I decided to do that.
I love that. And for people out there that don't know JF or JLove, I travel around the country a lot, and I see a lot of people in this industry, and this guy is probably one of the hardest working business development managers or sales managers that I know in the industry. And it's amazing to see how hard this guy works. And with that, JF, I'd love to hear, because we catch up for beers on a regular basis at conferences or when we're out with other physicians for dinner and all that sort of stuff. You have so much joy in your life. You're such a lovely guy. You're such a happy guy, and you just ooze positivity. I would love to hear a story of something funny about you growing up, or a funny story that you have for us.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
That's a good question.
More embarrassing, the better.
Yeah, exactly. We want followers and likes and viewers here. So give us something good.
A funny story when I was young. Wow. Maybe you can come back later on with that question, and I can think about it and come back with a good story.
We'll come back to that.
Let's ask you some questions where I want quick answers.
Okay.
Have you ever been in love?
I already been in love, yeah, for sure.
Who was your first love?
My first love was Geneviève, which she's now a physician a little bit outside of Montreal. So it was really my first love and first girlfriend, starting my university in Quebec City, and we were like 7 years together. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember your first kiss?
My first kiss, yes, I remember my first kiss. It was I was maybe 16 years old, and it was like it was like a small town outside of Ottawa. It was an English girl, so it was like a little town called Embrun outside of Ottawa. Yeah.
So is it always awkward for you when you kiss, being so tall that you got to come down and meet people? Is your body something weird? Do they stand up on their toes? Or do you you're a strong guy. Do you do the one fell swoop around the waist and lift them up?
I kind of practice all type of kissing. So we kind of meet halfway. We were
amazing. Okay.
Listen, I have to head up.
So, you're a single guy?
A single guy, yeah.
Are you on dating apps?
I am on dating apps right now, yeah.
All right. What's the best pickup line you've gotten on a dating app?
I think like dating app is terrible, to be honest. It's just like in that period of time where we're kind of confined, like it can pass your time and everything. So I'm kind of on an app called Bumble right now, and I have zero pickup line. I'm not cheesy at all, and I'm just staying myself. But it's kind of funny because like it's kind of written like your height on those apps, and literally I would say 70% of women that come, because on Bumble it's the girl that talk to you first. Yeah. So the first question is always, "Are you really 6 foot?" No, I was kidding. I was just.
I want to know that. I want to know what the second question is after you say yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're more of a pickup guy, kind of in a bar. So how do you make your first move?
Again, I don't really have a sharp personality in a bar, so I'm more the type of guy that I will look at a girl that is interesting to me, and I'll probably wait that she comes see me, or something like that. Not really. Always been in a relationship. You know, the last 14 years I've been in a relationship, and it's been 6 months now that I'm single. So it's kind of new to me, and I never really had the opportunity to either experience those like dating app, and also going out in bars. Like I don't really have a lot of experience like approaching women, so most of the time I just wait and it works. Not always, not always, but it works.
All right. Last question before I hand you off to Nathan. What is the last song you sung in your shower?
I love just like fun pop music. I love a lot like Sam Smith or even Justin Bieber. I don't care.
Give me a couple of lines of a Sam Smith song. Which song?
Oh, man, I'm a terrible singer. There's no chance I'm singing. There's no chance.
All right, we're gonna have to work on this. We're gonna have to.
At the end of the interview, if I have like a couple drinks, maybe you'll have me.
Here we go.
Not right now.
Yeah. All right.
Let's have a drink to that so we can get your drink down there a little bit quicker so we can get a song out of you.
So what type of drink you're having tonight? Just beer?
I've been having a few beers, a few vodkas. We've done a couple of interviews tonight, so it's been a good night actually. It's been a really good night. So, JF, I want to, and I think you're going to be a bit of a smooth mover here because I don't know too much about your cooking skills, but I think you're a bit of a chef. I reckon if I put my nail on it. I want to ask you a quick question here. 3 people you could invite over for dinner, dead or alive. Who would they be? And why? And what would you cook them? And if you're not cooking, where I think you're going to cook for them, because I think you're a bit of a smooth mover in the kitchen as well, what would you cook?
I would definitely cook barbecue because Nathan, you were wrong. I'm not a big fan of cooking. But actually, like in the last couple of weeks, I've improved my skill a lot. I actually cooked a salmon tonight, and it was great. But most of the time, with my ex-girlfriend, I was like splitting. Okay, I cook all summer, and you cook the rest of the year. So I'm a barbecue guy, but I love to order food or just go to the restaurant. So actually, it's one of the part that I miss a lot right now is going to great restaurant and even go to with my friends or customers at great restaurant. In terms of inviting people, it would definitely be some sport personality. I would probably bring to the table the owner of the Canadian Montreal, because I'm a huge hockey fan and huge Montreal Canadian Habs fan, and I probably had a lot of questions for him, and I would like to hear his stories, his inside stories. I would invite like probably a very good volleyball player called Gino Brousseau. He was a legend, one of the top volleyball guy in Canada. He now is assistant head coach of the head coach of Team Canada. Also been involved in the Rouge et Or in Quebec City. So he's kind of a legend in the volleyball world. And another guy would probably be would probably be Carey Price, I guess, the goalie of Montreal Canadian, and just to know his perspective of athlete and stuff like that.
Awesome. So you live in an amazing city, and I love Montreal. So this is kind of like a follow-up question to the last question. I would love to know, you're in isolation, we come out of isolation. What is your perfect night in Montreal in regards to going out on the town? What sort of restaurant would you go to? What sort of nightclubs would you visit? And where do you spend a lot of your time in your free time when we're not in isolation like we are today, experiencing the amazing city that is Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal is definitely amazing, like in terms of like nightlife, great restaurant, good food, a lot of festival during summer. So this is definitely something that is gonna be tough this summer to have like completely zero festival, no events, no gathering. Like so, we have to reinvent ourselves and find new activities and be and practice social distancing. But definitely when we can be back to almost normal, I'm going to go at Jatoba in Montreal, which is like my favorite restaurant. If you guys didn't never tried that, it's definitely go to. It's kind of like Asian fusion, and it's a very very good restaurant, and it's always good every time I went there. And I would go there. I would probably go to the Fly Gin, a place I like a lot. Actually, I would start with a 5 to 7 cocktail at the cat cart. So cat cart is really the place to go right now. It's a beautiful, it's a fun, like it's a really fun concept because it's like in the middle of the bar. It's huge. It's like the place for the 5 and 7, and it all around it. It's a small restaurant that you can really choose the type of restaurant you want, and after that you go back in the middle. And it's all like it's a glass rooftop, so you see downtown. So it's a gorgeous place. So it's called a Cat Cart, and beautiful place. So I would start there, would go to the Jatoba after that, and I would finish at the Fly Gym. That would be
and the reason why I asked that is because when isolation finishes, George and I are coming to Montreal to have a night with you.
You guys are more than welcome. We'll have a lot of fun, I'm pretty sure. Like always, we always have fun. We always have fun together.
Okay, so let's talk more. Let's talk more business, Jeff. And like, I would love to know what led you into the medical aesthetics industry. What was the defining moment that took you to medical aesthetics?
Yeah, if we go back a little bit, like used to be a volleyball player sport. I knew I wanted to be a sales rep, and back then, my first girlfriend, as I told you, was a physician, so she was always telling me, "Why you don't go in medical as a medical sales rep?" So when I finished university, I've passed I think 2 interviews, and they were saying like, "Oh, I think you're a good prospect, but you're too green. We really encourage you to like have experience in another field as a sales rep, and after that, we encourage you to try." And so I've listened to them and started working for Labatt, so selling Budweiser, selling beer for like 4 years. So I had a lot of fun, and it was a very good industry to learn because they have a really military way of training their people. So it was a great place to learn how to just how to work with and how to do business and how to close deals with big contract with private grocery store and private convenience store. So I've worked there for 4 years, and when I arrived in Montreal, I had the opportunity at Cynosure, and Simon Bergeron, which was my mentor back then. I love the guy. So I've worked with him for like 4 years. He showed me everything, present me all the customers, showed me the industry. So I have a lot of respect for him. So unfortunately, he left the company now, but I owe him a lot because he showed me a lot of good stuff and how to be a good like professional in the industry. So yeah, it's kind of the way I started with Cynosure. So it's been like 6.5 years now already.
So you're very experienced in the industry, and you're very well known. And if you were to speak to, say, someone younger, like a young J Love or a young JF coming into the industry, is there any sort of obstacle or any sort of hard lesson that you've learned coming into this industry, and how would you prepare the younger people coming into the cosmetic, dermatology, surgical industry today?
It's a fantastic industry. If I would go back then, I would, not that I didn't take it seriously at the beginning, but like you just don't know what you're going into, I guess. And back then, 6 years ago, like the way they were training people at Cynosure was not what it is right now. So you were kind of learning by yourself and like with a book, and you just read and you learn as you go. So I would have maybe put a little bit more work into learning all the technology, the science, because I've learned, and we still learn every day, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for you guys. We learn really every day about new stuff in our industry. So it's why I still love my job so much, because it constantly change. We constantly launch new technology, and so we always have to learn the new science about it. So it's very, very interesting. But I don't think I would change anything. I really like my path with Cynosure and always been loyal to the company. And I'm really, really happy to work for them, and they treat us well. So I'm happy.
Amazing. What pisses you off about our industry? I mean, we work in a very competitive industry. You're a pretty happy guy. You're very easygoing. But what really pisses you off about our industry? What's happening in our industry today that you wish you could change?
I would say there's not a lot of, well, there's more and more regulation now in our industry. I would say back then when we started, it was a little bit like far west in terms of like people that it's still a laser can be dangerous. And if you're not properly trained, like back then, like practically anybody could use a laser and do some treatment at home in their basement. So now it's not like that anymore. So I think it's more and more regulated, and people really need to have a proper training at a laser school, so it really improved. I would say, and sometimes because it's really competitive, there's a lot of noise, so you have to stay focused on your job and just focus on what you can control and trust on your technology, and success is going to come with it, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. If you were to discuss with your younger self something, like if you were to be able to go back in time and give yourself advice, what point of your life would you go back to? Like, how far would you go? Is it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? And what would you say?
Very good question. Very good question. I'm pretty happy with my life, to be honest. I've made some mistake, but who doesn't? And the most important thing is to learn about your mistake and don't do it again, you know. So I've definitely not been perfect at any job or anything. But I don't think I would go back and tell myself to like do something. Yeah. You just learn from it and you grow, and you try not to make the mistake twice.
Fair enough.
Does it answer your question, George? Or
yeah, no, 100%. I actually appreciate that answer, because it shows that you're okay with life and mistakes and learning and growing, and it's part of who you are. And I thoroughly enjoy that.
I love that answer too, and it brings me to our next question, which is something that none of us have ever experienced before in COVID-19. And 3 or 4 months ago, our industry was booming. Things were going amazingly well, and life was good for a lot of us in this industry. Yeah. And all of a sudden, almost overnight, this virus had not just shocked our industry, but it had shocked the whole world. And it's changed us, and I think it's going to change all of us forever, mentally, physically, and in everything we do. We're going to remember this COVID-19 experience, and I would love for you to speak to this, J Love, in regards to how this has affected you personally and professionally, and what you think you're going to do differently when you come out of this COVID-19 isolation period.
That was a very long question, Nathan.
I'm sorry.
Nathan likes the sound of his voice.
But it's a great question. No one has like a crystal ball, but we can kind of see what's coming. I guess there's going to be definitely a lot of change. But you know what? The beauty industry and it's not something that people will cut on. In my opinion, if you guys already heard about like the lipstick effect, which is really well known, it was like a study from L'Oreal after 2008 about like all the industry that was going down, and the beauty industry was going up after the economic crisis. So yeah. I think we will see the same thing now after that COVID-19 event. So, well, as I said, we don't really have a crystal ball, so we don't really know exactly what's going to happen. We know it's going to be a challenging time in terms of with the economy, but people always want to look good. So I don't think they're going to cut on spending on skincare, on laser treatment, on injectables, Botox. So I think it's going to be there's definitely going to be a boom when everything's going to start back. And after that, we'll see what's going to happen. But in terms of doing business, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I don't think we will see the physician as often until there's a vaccine, because obviously they will be very busy with their business, as I told previously. So they will have less time to meet all the sales reps. So either we will meet on the lunch time or maybe at night for a dinner. But I think the new way to do business is going to be a lot like we do it right now. So on web conference, over the phone, and as a sales rep, we can be even more efficient that way because we don't travel all the time. We're not in traffic. We cut expense a lot, so it's not bad. It's just we're all social people, and we like to meet people in person, and it's the part that is going to be, in my opinion, maybe a little bit tougher because we will work a little bit more from home and a little bit less on the road. And it's the part that I miss the most is being on the road and meeting my customers and going at good restaurant and all that stuff. So yeah.
J Love, you've been amazing to have on the show today. I'm really enjoying this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Now
you like my French accent?
Huh?
You like my French accent?
Love it.
You like my English accent? Buddy, it's all about perspective, man. Okay. To you, I sound like I have an accent. You never know. Yeah. You don't even want me to speak French, man. So we're going to get to the part of our quick fire questions.
Okay.
So they're this or that, usually yes or no's, or pick one or the other. And I want you to answer as quickly as possible without putting too much thought into it.
Okay.
Okay? Don't think about the answers. Just right away, whatever pops in your head.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Red or blue?
Red.
Black or white?
Black.
Green or blue?
Green.
Flying or being invisible?
Flying.
Reading minds or flying?
Reading minds.
Mom or dad?
Mom.
Cats or dogs?
Cats. I have two.
Back in isolation for 12 more weeks. Who do you bring with you? One person.
A girl.
I
don't know which one yet.
Okay. Pasta or fries?
Pardon me?
Pasta or fries?
Fries.
Steak or burgers?
Steak.
Lobster or steak?
Lobster.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Nathan or me?
Both.
Oh, I thought I had that one. I thought I had that one.
You wanted to say me.
I'm really political, eh?
Yeah.
You wanted to say me, but you know.
Oh.
J-Love, man, we got 2 questions from Nathan before we close the show. But before we get there, I just want to say, man, you're so fun to be around, and I really do look forward to coming to Montreal and hanging out with you and catching a beer and going to fly gin with you
this summer.
Yeah. We're gonna do it, man. Like that night that you told us about 10 minutes ago, we're gonna come down and we're gonna experience that night with you. You can be our hostess of the mostest.
So all day we'll chill out at the pool and we do my plan after that. You guys are welcome.
You know what? We could maybe do a live Skinterviews from your house. J-Love out of isolation.
Anytime.
Awesome. So 2 last questions, buddy. We always ask this to every guest. Your current skincare routine?
My skincare is very basic. I should improve it, but I use like a calming gel. It's called from Concept Myriad. So I use a calming gel after shaving myself. Now, because I did laser hair removal, I don't need to shave myself anymore. So it's great.
That was a good
one.
And I really highly recommend it. But I use calming gel and I use like a soap in the shower for my face, also made by Concept Myriad. And just like a regular hydrating like cream before going to bed. That's it.
Good man. Hey, and the last question we always ask our guests is, who would you like to see next on the show, and can you help us make that happen?
I would love to have Dr. Shane Seal on the show. I love the guy. He's a young, dynamic plastic surgeon out of Newfoundland.
He's a legend.
Yeah, and he's becoming more and more a legend. So I think he would be a very good guy to interview. So
perfect.
Awesome. Well, can you work on that for us, JF?
I can definitely text him for you guys, and I'm pretty sure he would be really happy to be your guest.
That's awesome. So I just want to say thank you so much, JF. It's always good to see you, mate. And I'm missing you so much, and I can't wait to give you a big hug when we get out of this isolation period. And you're an absolute champ, buddy. And I'm going to pass it over to George to end the show tonight.
Jean-Francois Saint-Amour. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
And au revoir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Skinterviews by Nathan and George. It is always so saddening when we get to the end of an interview because there's so much more we want to know and so many more things we want to ask. Maybe we'll have some of our guests on a second and third time. So what you can do is if there's somebody you want to get to know more, please head over to our Instagram or Facebook page. Look us up on facebook.com/skin.terviews or on Instagram @skin.terviews. Of course, you can find us on our professional page on LinkedIn or on YouTube as Skinterviews by Nathan and George. Thank you for watching tonight and stay tuned for your next Skinterview.